Okay, time to talk about another RPG source book from West End Games. This one is the Truce of Bakura source book, written by, yes, Kathy Tyers and Eric Trautman. Now, I have a theory here. There is a lot of stories in this. A lot of short stories. I believe Kathy Tyers wrote that, probably gave her advice for Eric to write the rest of it. But wow, wow, wow. This is almost like its own novelization, a follow-up or prequel sequel to Truce of Bakura. Now, it starts off with a report from the Provisional Council of Alliance of Free Planets. Remember, before they were the New Republic, they were the Alliance of Free Planets. Vorin Nall, once again, very famous RPG West End Games character, is talking to Mon Mothma, the whole Galactic or the Alliance of Free Planets. And Mon Mothma talks about there may be a New Republic one day, but right now, they just have an alliance. But they're talking about what to do with the Cicero. Now, he's going to recount the tale. Remember, these RPGs, these source books are done in storybook form. He's going to recount the tale of what happened during Truce of Bakura. So it gives you a little bit, the state of the war, the Emperor's Trap, the aftermath of the battle and everything. A short celebration, roughly cut down. They have a little deposition of what happened during the final battle. General Mon Mothma is interviewing General Solo and a few others. It's got a little bit of humor in here because writing Solo and everyone, but Akbar and Paige are also, from Paige's Commandos, are also interviewed. Of course, it's going to have some fantastic artwork with this. And then we have another deposition from Major Breslin Drake about his account of what happened. Basically, these are just accounts of what happened in Truce of Bakura. Then we go to the Bakura incident itself. And here is the thing that the Rebel Alliance intercepted, that they are under attack, need help. But of course, the Empire's not coming. So the Republic, or the Alliance, decides to come to their aid. And of course, there's a hologram of the ship. And that's just really awesome there. So, talking about, again, it's just basically recounting the tale of what happened with a lot of stories. Now, the stories are about to hit here in just a minute, and when they do, it's like every other page. So whenever you hit this, you're going to see that there's a story most times. This one's about Luke being captured and waking up, and basically it happens during the adventure of Truce of Bakura. He's trying to build up his power. He wants to save Dev, maybe make him a Jedi too, maybe start a new, start the Jedi anew with him. He just needs to save his strength. They got one about Jorg Captison and how he's letting, when the Rebel Alliance said they're going to come to their aid, he had to have the planet vote if they wanted the help, if they wanted to distance themselves, become independent, cut their ties with the Empire, to accept help from the Rebel Alliance, or to accept the call. And so, of course, the voting starts, and it looks like they're going to do it, which kind of they are. And then here's Forces of the Alliance. Good. Again, like the artwork here. If they all live by the Jedi Code. So there you go, the Jedi Code there. A little bit. Oh, some Princess Leia stories here. Just a little thing. This is the stuff I believe was written by Kathy Tyers, even though it doesn't really say. I mean, in the chapter headings, it does say a little bit like Kathy Tyers wrote one chapter, but because of all the short stories, see this by Eric, by Eric, chapter 6. But I think some of this had to have been. Oh yeah, you see this, Kathy Tyers. Some of the short stuff she wrote there, so it is her. But it reads just like her. I mean, really good stuff. So wool gathering, this is something from Han and Chewie and stuff like that. But all these little things like this, they're just little vignettes that happen during, after, or before the events of Truce of Bakura, and Kathy Tyers wrote it all. It's almost like its own mini novel, kind of jumbled already up. Okay, here's Mon Mothma addressing the Alliance of Free Planets, saying that they will be a new republic one day, but they make the declaration of the Alliance of Free Planets. This is their actual document with all their signatures, which is really fun. Newest Rebels, another thing, just little short vignette stories that are really good, so interesting. Spend a lot of time. In fact, it feels like there's just as much story as there is explaining the rules. A Kin from Afar, basically she sees Leia and kind of waves in passing, and Leia waves back, but Leia doesn't know her. Leia's just being nice. What a nice lady. Just little things like that just make you think. Chapter 4, Forces of the Empire. Now we got to talk about what the Empire's like, especially the ones that we've heard about in the book. Another little short story about these characters they're explaining right now. More going on to this and that. I think these are kind of together. Thanos here, Thanos here, to get a little bit more of his character there, if you remember it. This is one of them at the gala that they were all sitting around. This is kind of like a lost chapter of a couple of Imperial cadets or lieutenants, or I can't remember right now, but they're just kind of smoozing around. So, and I don't know, maybe this was like deleted ideas she had for certain chapters or things that she had to cut from it that she said, hey, I can put it all in here. And I don't know how much she had input on this. I'm sure she kind of gave them her idea of what it looked like and had someone draw it up. Or maybe West End Games just did this all on their own. Who knows? Either way, though, I like that she really took the time. Kathy Tyers took the time to make sure this was a success, and this is a fantastic book here. So now we're going through the world of Bakura here, as you see there, and there's a little world map key, terrain key there. Another, that's in there. There's the more art, more of the economy, yeah. Government, everything about Bakura that you wanted to know here. Here's some from the Capstan family. This is prequel before, well, this is after actually, but one is before the events and one is after the events. There's a really great story in here. Oh, no, this is another story here, just another short story. But see, I mean, just had like, look at this. That was the short story. Then it talked about this. Then we have another, so Prime Minister Yao Capstan, so just about him. Now another little, it's called Balance Point. So now we have another little story right here. And then here's a little saucy on him. And then another short story. And then another short story. I mean, oh, and one of these is how Dev got captured by the Ciceruk. Unbelievable. I'd forgotten about this. And then who is Epi? And then another short story. I mean, it just keeps going. And then another short story. And then 2 explanations. So, I mean, these little, and I say short stories, I guess little vignettes, I guess is what you would call it. But just absolutely amazing. So here's, and now just a testimonial of Luke and his feelings to Gariel, just for official historic record keeping. Luke doesn't like to talk about this, but he is. And then vice versa, they'll switch around, and they also have Gariel talk about what Luke is like. She doesn't like Jedi, but why was she attracted to Luke? And again, that was something Kathy Tyers put together. Then we talk about the Ciceruk. So if you want to know about the Ciceruk, here they are, their history, their religion, their order. These are like little Newsnet announcements. This reminds me of the old Adventure Journal. Now, I don't think they had the Adventure Journal going back then, but this stuff like this is eventually what would turn into the Adventure Journal. So there's their society, their government, their culture, how entertainment works. This is like a page from their Bible, from the first egg they cracked and everything. So then it talks about their Legion of Space. I mean, just honestly, everything. And look, oh yeah, dinosaurs in space. So awesome. So here's about Dev. And this is the story, Strangers with Sweets. And look at this. This is actually a short story. It goes all the way through here. All of these pages here. That's really a short story that should have been saved for a Star Wars Insider, but she wrote it for this book. And it's just like law, and there's more of it. It just ends down here. So, this is another one. So even more of this. This is just a great resource for expanded universe readers if they want to read more, especially if it's Truce of Bakura. So then we go to creatures here. Learn about all the creatures. Great depictions there. Love the artwork. Very creative, imaginative of what all these creatures look like. You know, that one just has the mouth, the chewing type there. Of the parasite there. There we go. All right. Move past this. We'll flip over something. Yeah, I missed the next chapter. Hard to do. This shouldn't be that hard to turn pages. Anyway, there's chapter 8, Starships. So now we're talking about all the starships. There's the Midrunner, Flurry, all the diagnostic. I love that to scale with everything. Just really nice. Really nice. So there you go. Just, again, illustrations. The best. There's the battle. Oh. It looks even better when you see that. They look like fish heads, though. Very strange. But anyway, There's another short story here about the Sourcebook. And then they talk about their battle droids, picket ships, maneuvering ships. Now it goes into vehicles. Looks like the artwork changed a little bit. I don't like this artwork. I don't know what type it's called, but hyper realistic. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't look that good. And I see it in some of these at times. So there's another short story. Look how long this short way down the next page. Again, that's something for the Star Wars Insider, but it's inside the source book. I have forgotten how much just prose is written here. More adventures, and written from Kathy Tyers too. This is like gold. For any Kathy Tyers fan, dream come true. Anyway, there's the intelligence droid. I like the look of the droids. Very 90s-esque as this came out here. Oh, look, message drone. Is that a message drone? No, is it? Looks like a lightsaber. Let's see that. I don't remember that one. Anyway, so I always like looking at all that in the equipment and weapons. There's a Sourcebook gas grenade, or no, that's the paddle beamer there, which we've seen before. Okay, then you're talking about skills. Their brainwashing skills. Then we have a little thing about the Force again. They touch on all these little things. Then the Alliance of Free Planets. Eventually, there's a story in here. The afterwards Alliance of Free Planets where I don't know. It should have been back here. Oh no, there's another story where it's after the battle and the Empire goes, "Hey, I'm stepping down, but I want my crew safe passage out of here to join the Empire again, wherever they're at." And Luke goes, "Well, I want you to give them a chance to join the rebellion. You know, see if they want to join the." He's like, "I will not ask that question." You know, even though he's stepping down, he doesn't expect his crew. So he's still saying true to his character, right? Even though I'm stepping down, I cannot tell my men to willingly, you know, be treasonous to the Empire. So it's another good short story by Kathy Tyers. And then there's the afterwards where Voronal kind of explains them what they should do with the Sourcebook. Maybe they should send Luke, since he's the strongest of them, to negotiate a deal. And they're like, no, they'll hate Luke, especially after these events. And so they just decide to kind of leave it be, keep an eye on him in the meantime. And that's where we are when we get to New Jedi Order, because it says, you know, they've been keeping tabs on any Sourcebook activity in the system, but they haven't seen any in decades. And we know eventually what happens. The Vong wipes them out. So there you go. Oh, this may be it, I think. Oh, no. This is a extract from the Journal of Captain Dren. This is him just breaking down something stupid. This is not how it should have ended. But either way, again, Kathy Tyers, I'm sure, wrote this as well. He's dealing with Compnor, as you can see here, giving his testimony of what happened at Bakura. Anyway, overall, unbelievable. It almost should be its own novel, written by Kathy Tyers. Really good stuff. Folks, let me know in the comments, what did you think? First off, what did you think about the novel? Are you interested enough to where you try the source book too and read all the extra short stories written by Kathy Tyers in this one alone? I think this is one of the best source books that I've covered so far, because it's just chock full of stories, which is really what I love the most. But anyway, folks, let me know your comments below, and I'll talk to you next time.